Good evening. We are up to episode 20 in our Let's Play series for Space Engineer Survival, version 1.190. There is a new version out, update that I have not restarted to install and run yet. But it doesn't look like there's anything particularly necessary that we're missing. Anyway, since this is the 20th episode, our 10th episode was something of a special episode since we were in creative mode. Our 20th episode, I'm going to do a little bit special by intentionally running long rather than running long by accident. I mentioned in the last episode that we were functionally complete. We're almost functionally complete. The one thing that we don't really have that we are still going to need to have is at least one more assembler that I want to put over here. So we're going to go ahead and put that in. I've got the components queued up to do that. And we can, I think, fit all this stuff in our inventory anyway. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and do that real quick. We're also going to try to get ourselves to space in this episode since it's, episode 20, and I feel like that's kind of a landmark somehow. So we're going to see if we can get ourselves into space without running too long. I usually try to shoot for about a half-hour episode, so I'm going to try to shoot for about an hour this time, and hopefully we'll have enough time to do all that. Some other things that I would like to do in this episode, though, in particular, is I want to get some more connectors on here, because this one here is what we used in creative mode anyway for the probe, so I want to attach the probe here and get the connector attached to do that. I also would like to do something that we'll do that first actually because that'll be quick. I want to unlock catwalks, and I would have just done this off camera, but it involved going through the progression, so I figured I'd go ahead and do that on camera. I did do some work off camera. You'll notice that there's, armor blocks at least placed there, even though they haven't been put together. I moved the remote control block to its what I would consider its permanent location. I didn't have one on the creative mode version, but I think it would be useful to have. I also moved the antenna to the back here, based on the fact that we have a little bit shorter of a rear deck because of the changes in how the drill's actually built. Longer conveyors here coming out of the rotor, it extends back further. We don't have as much room here, so I figured I'd just go ahead and plop the antenna back here. So I moved the antenna, I moved the remote control block, I filled in the armor blocks, and the way that I filled them in is something that I did update in my creative world, but was not done by the time I made the video. Lag. Um, is I put some sloped blocks here, and the idea is that we're going to put catwalks down here so that we can get from the front to the back. And I left gaps here that will eventually have connectors in them, I think, um, so that we can dock up to something else, whether it's a rover, the base, or whatever, so that we can transfer cargo off of this thing. I also completed the other batteries and got those charged up. We do have all three of the hydrogen engines running, but they run at a reduced rate since they're basically sharing a load that one of them could handle by itself if it wanted to. Um, anyway, so all that is stuff that I did off camera, and I'm going to do these connectors real quick here. Uh, but before I do that, I mentioned we've got catwalks, but they're locked behind the progression. The progression that we need to do that is interior walls. So I'm just going to go ahead and build that real quick and then remove it so that we can do catwalks. Real simple, just interior plates and construction components. But there, now that's done, we've unlocked new blocks. That's pretty much everything that we've unlocked now. There's a couple of things that we still haven't done, weapons and gravity generators and stuff like that, but I'm not super in a hurry to do that. But I did need catwalks, so we've got the catwalks now. But before we actually build the catwalks, I want to do these connectors. I'm not sure if I can actually fit. Nope, I can't. But I can at least start them. So we want one there, and then we want one to match the one that we have on the other side that the cargo shuttle is currently docked to. No. Yeah, buttons. How's that lined up over here? I'm pretty sure it's lined up with the lights on top. Yeah, okay. The lights on the top and bottom. Want to be consistent. Alright, so we've got too many steel plates in our inventory right now. Mm, 129 I want to take out, I think. Yeah. goes in. Grab everything but the steel plates. And the interior plates, we don't need those for this anyway. So there's that one. Then grab the rest of our steel plates so that we can do this one. So in addition to the catwalks on the bottom, I also want to put some catwalks up here. There's a lot of the ground that we can cover just, walking back and forth. We can walk across here, we can walk across here. But what we can't do is walk across here. So I would like to just get some catwalks there so that we can, kind of walk around up here. And obviously that big hole in the middle we can't cross. So I'm going to put some catwalks there. I thought I had catwalks on my bar. I didn't put catwalks on my bar apparently. Oh, I couldn't put catwalks on my bar because I had to unlock them first. I know what I'm doing. I know how to play this game. That's not what I wanted to do either. Lag. That's what I wanted to do. Alright, so I'm not going to do the ones up here right now because I want to actually spend a little bit of time and do that correctly. But on the bottom here, I know for a fact that I want layers because I can't actually attach these catwalks at this level to these slope blocks, and that's what we've got. But I can put them on the bottom here as long as I flip them over. As long as I have the interior plates to do the initial placement anyway. Right? Yeah, I can't place these here. I can't attach them to those the slopes, but I can attach them to the bottom. So what I like to do is I'll sandwich them. So I'll just put the regular steel catwalk plates with no railings all along here, and then we'll come back in the future and we'll actually do the top bits with railings. For the time being, let's do this, and that one needs to not be there because we don't want to block the connector. The conveyor port that we might attach a connector to. I don't know if I'm going to put one in all three of these spots, but I could. I'll figure that out later and decide what we're going to do. For the time being, the important bits are to go along this way. And I know I want one between the slopes so that you can get, here in the middle and get a view. And I do at least somewhere along here want these to be connected, just not somewhere it's going to obstruct anything. Based on the fact that this is so close here and you can't actually get between them, I think I'm going to go ahead and commit to the fact that I don't want a connector there, at least. So I can do that one. I might want a connector there and or there, though. But that does not make any difference for these two. And that does not make any difference for this one. So now we can still pop up through here. And land there. So now we can walk back and forth. And we'll obviously want railings around here so that we can't just walk off the side. but we can do all that later. I think that's all I wanted to do here for now. Like I said, I do eventually want to put some catwalks up here as well, but we're going to do that at another time. So we can just go ahead and throw these back into where we're storing them. We've got our cargo shuttle here loaded up with silver, so I'm going to head back to the main base. Battery on, engines on, gyro on, connector off. Back we go. And we are going to be moving pretty slow here because we are heavy with all this silver ore. Lag. Whenever you're ready. Just don't crash. There we go. So yeah, we're moving pretty slow here, but we're getting there. Stutter, stutter, lag. Memory leaks and other stuff like that. I mean, the game's got to start the game between episodes this time for sure, especially with all this going on here. Um, yeah, so we're going pretty slow anyway. You know, regardless of the lag issues. Did we get hit with a meteor or something? Like, everything looks intact, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Connector back on our ship. Oh no, it's not so bad. Yeah, it must have just been some voxel loading issues there. Get ourselves lined up. Something else I would like to do is put a camera on the back of this so that I can get a decent view of what I'm doing. When I'm docking up. Alright, so connect. Engines off. Thrusters off. And yeah, that'll work. I'm going to leave it on auto. I don't want it to be recharging. I don't want it to be pulling as much power as possible. I mean, it's still going to pull a decent amount of power here, but this is fine just as it is. Alright, so this should be pulling the silver into the main refinery. If we check and see what's going on here. Refinery, silver. We are actually getting our silver refining now. And the reason why we want silver, the reason why silver is so important is because we want to put a survival kit on our spaceship. And yeah, this is definitely a meteor strike right here. So that's how close we came to actually being hit by a meteor. Like, nothing is damaged. All of our bits are still intact. But we very nearly got hit by a meteor strike. Which is odd to me, mostly because it seems to me that the meteor storms tend to follow the player around. Like, they don't necessarily, you know, home in on the player completely so that you're going to always get hit, but they tend to follow you around. So I feel like I would have seen this when I was over here at one point if they were going to be this close. But oh well, whatever. Point is, we lived. We didn't get hit by anything. We're definitely pressing our luck with not having any turrets whatsoever on here to try to shoot down meteors. But deal with that problem another day. What we're going to do today, what we're going to do now, is first we're going to clear off our hotbar because we don't want any of this stuff on here for the time being. Gonna replace everything. So we definitely need a landing gear, which I just removed. We're definitely going to need a cockpit. We are definitely going to need batteries, hydrogen engines. I'm not worried about any of that stuff, or that stuff, or the rest of that stuff. Hydrogen thrusters we're going to need. Ore detector, antenna. No. Survival kit. Medium cargo container. Drill. Might want to come back for spotlights and lights and stuff, but I'm not worried about that right this second. Might want cameras, but I'm not going to worry about that right this second. Connectors. Lag. In your own time, game. Small conveyor tubes. I don't think we need any of that. Hydrogen tank. O2H2 generator. And that should do it. Okay. So first thing we need to place is a landing gear. And that is the small grid landing gear. Whoa. Hello, wolf. Wow, this is a great time for you to lag, thank you. There's usually more than one. Hey, free motors, that's cool. Just one this time? Alright, cool. I'm not complaining. We need to queue up some bits to get us started. Not from the survival kit. Go ahead and do 100 steel plates because we will use them. 30 interior plates because we will most likely use them too. And if we don't, we can disassemble them, we can move them, we can use them later. Let's go ahead and refill our hydrogen tank. Hydrogen bottle, whatever you want to call it. Silver's coming along nicely. Where'd the assembler go? There it is. Okay, now we can start. Give ourselves some room. We're on some pretty flat ground here, so like a lot of times I would actually prefer to build like a platform so that we've got something to build this on out of armor blocks, but as flat as this ground is here, I'm really not that worried about it. Actually, no, I'm gonna do it anyway because it's a little bit safer. Better to do it and not need to than not do it and realize that you need to because something that you're trying to build is clipping into the ground and you can't get far enough to actually lift your thing off the ground. So we'll place our landing gear there. And everything will get built on top of that. How do we want to do this? Do our hydrogen tank next. That's kind of the biggest piece and will basically be the center of our ship here. You know what? I'm going to put a couple armor blocks here. These are just scaffolds, but it will be easier to place the hydrogen tank where we want it and still be able to do thrusters and stuff where we want them if I do this first. No, we need one more here. Like that. So now we can place the hydrogen tank, and then we can grind one of these blocks off, and we'll actually be able to fit the thruster that we want to put under there. Doesn't really matter. There'll do. All right, so there's our hydrogen tank. What's this? This is medium cargo container. Okay, good. Yeah, medium cargo container is what we want. Um, hmm. You know what? The design that I've used previously worked pretty well, so I think I'm just going to copy it with a couple of minor changes. The first one of those changes is where I put the cargo container. So this is designed to go to space. We are going, to space with this, and one of the first things we're going to have to do when we get to space is get ourselves a fuel supply. So, being able to actually refine ice and store ice and drill ice is going to be a very important aspect of our mission once we get up into space. So I'm going to go ahead and stick a cargo container on there. Then I'm going to stick our survival kit on here. And we want to line up all the conveyor ports so that it'll actually connect. Doesn't really matter which direction the console faces, but the other one was facing that way, so I'm going to face it that way. Now, the one mistake that I know I did make in my previous design is, first of all, I didn't initially include the medium cargo container, and I ended up regretting it. So I'm going to include that here rather than try to build it onto the cockpit in the front. Didn't that wolf just run down the hole? Goofball. Whatever. And the other mistake that I made is I didn't have quite enough thrust to reliably get up into space. I had to do some shenanigans with rolling around and making sure that I was using more thrusters than was reasonable. So the way I'm going to address that is I'm going to actually include an extra O2H2 generator to line up with these two small conveyor ports on the side of the survival kit with a large port there that I can connect a large hydrogen thruster to instead of two small thrusters that I connected to the survival kit initially. So that's how that's going to go. This is going to be a little bit longer than my original design, but that's okay. Longer is fine. And then we're going to do another O2H2 generator up here. And two O2H2 generators can support one hydrogen engine, so that's actually good. That's better than the way it was initially designed, where I only had one O2H2 generator and couldn't actually support either of the engines by themselves. And I forgot to add engines, it looks like. Yeah, I have thrusters and I have the generators, but I don't have the engines themselves. All right, so let's grab that. Hydrogen engines. Now, these hydrogen engines have small conveyor ports at that bottom part there. So the way that I like to set them up, and I've done this a couple of times, both with atmospheric ships and with the spaceship, is line them up so that they are opposite on either side of the O2H2 ports that are right there. So now we've got two hydrogen engines set up here, so we have pretty decent power generation should we need it, and we can actually support one of these engines entirely based on the amount of O2H2 generators that we have on here now. And the other nice thing about that is that as well as the O2H2 generator will do this also, but when you put the hydrogen engines on it like that, it will also line up perfectly with the cockpit's rear conveyor ports. Now we do need a block here to attach it to, though. And I think that is where I am going to put my ore detector. On my previous design, I actually had atmospheric thrusters, because one way to build this thing is to actually use atmospheric thrusters to get you up as high as atmospheric thrusters are effective, and then use the hydrogen from that point. But I think we can go ahead and just use hydrogen the whole way up. somewhat sure that we'll have enough hydrogen, especially if we load up with ice as well, to handle that. So we'll put the ore detector there, and we will stick the antenna in the other spot here. If I can figure out how I want to get it lined up, like that. All right, so we got ore detector, we got antenna, we got engines, we got O2 H2 generators, we got tank, we got cargo, we got survival kit, and now we have an attachment point for our cockpit right there. And I will put the connector on the bottom. In my other design, I actually ground off the connector that I had initially placed and put a medium cargo container on here, between the two. And I did that in space, as well as building my drill in space, having hand drilled enough stone to stick to the survival kit to, build myself up to that point. And that was definitely the hard way to do it. So I am going to make a point of getting a drill attached on the ground rather than, needing to do all that in space. Because resetting yourself back to the point where you're hand drilling is definitely the hard way to do things. So drill there. So connector, drill, cockpit, hydrogen engines for power, ore detector, antenna, O2 H2 generator, hydrogen tank, cargo container, survival kit, another O2 H2 generator. Now we need batteries, because the hydrogen engines will provide you with power, but they suck up a lot of hydrogen. So if you can use batteries to kind of hold you over, and then find a decent ice supply, and refill your batteries using the ice supply, and then you actually just use your batteries while you're getting started and finding that ice supply, that's definitely going to be better for you. So we do want to put batteries on here still. Now I think 2 batteries on my original design. No, I had 1 battery and a whole bunch of small batteries. I'm not going to bother with the small batteries because they're nice if you really have a space issue, but if you don't have a space issue, just shell out for the big batteries. They're worth it. So we are going to do, and this is probably going to be overkill, but I'm going to do it anyway. We're just going to do 1 large battery on each side here. And this is more about storage capacity than energy usage. And those will still stick out a little bit further beyond the hydrogen tank, but that's okay. This will be fine. We might have to do some kind of, tilting back and forth with the drill to make sure we have enough room to fit ourselves in here. But actually, once we attach the thrusters, it's going to be about even. So this is going to be relatively sleek as far as, everything lining up. So that's batteries. I think the only thing we have left to attach here, if I'm not mistaken, are our thrusters. Yep. So we need 1 thruster for sure. Oh, we can't fit it there because the drill's in the way. Alright, we'll figure something out on that front. But we know we need 1 on the side here. We know we need 1 on the top here. How is this lined up? Yeah, that's the way I want it. Now these directions I'm a little bit less worried about. These are basically like our reaction control system to, keep ourselves straight and level and being able to kind of strafe. The important ones are going to be forward and backward. So we built this shenaniganry here, the purpose of which was to be able to do that and then stick this hydrogen thruster in here. And The rotation doesn't really matter, but from my OCD-ness, I like to line up the conveyors. So there's that. Now we want to do a large one on the back here. Excuse me. We still need one facing forwards, because as much thrust as we have going forward, we do definitely need some halfway decent braking thrust. And I'm not sure how I want to line that up. I don't remember what I did on my other ship. Because I know I attached the drill on the front, obviously. But I did have reverse thrust here. And I can't fit it there because the drill, as deceptive as it may look, is actually 3 blocks tall. Alright, I'm just going to do that. A trick that I've seen White Lightning do. Check out his videos. It's worth it. Fuel is low. We've used up a lot of hydrogen floating around there. Refill that and refill our bottle, and then get back to that. We're at 32 minutes, so we're about halfway. Is he will use a conveyor junction and attach thrusters to that. So that's what we're going to do. And because we're using the large thruster here, those have conveyor ports on all 4 sides here. Now, do I want to do the full cluster, or do I just really want reverse? I know I want reverse, so we'll go ahead and do the reverse, and I'll think about it while I'm doing it as to whether or not I want to do more than that. So I know I want that many. More wolves. But they seem to be running straight by us, so that's fine. Yeah, I am gonna do it. We can always turn them off if we don't need to use that much thrust and we want to preserve hydrogen. But that's another one of those better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it sort of things, I think. So we've got backwards, we've got both sides. We have a decent build. Now we've got, so this is going to be plenty. It's here, inventory. I'm pretty sure that that's a little superfluous. But the thrusters back here are lined up with the ones that are on the hydrogen tank. So, I mean, this hasn't expanded our profile any. It's definitely a long ship, but that's okay. I may come to regret only having the one drill on the front, but if it comes to that, we've got the survival. survival kit, we can build the parts that we need uh, to expand the drill assembly. That's not a problem. But now that that is all shelled out, we can actually finish up the welding here. Oh, that's something I didn't think about. It'll be fine. We'll have to get some ice and stick it in here to actually get hydrogen going. I'm not sure that we have any ice here. We might have to run back to the rover or drill some out manually. We do have ice. Okay, cool. All right. So are there any more parts left in here that we can start with? No, we've got all the parts that we made. Well, I know I need 3 medical components. Oh, lag. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I know I need medical components, and I know I need 3 of them. And we've refined enough silver now. Hopefully that should work. Yep, there we go. So we've been refining silver. How are we doing on that anyway? Still working on it. Yeah, we got a lot of silver just with that one trip in the cargo shuttle. Like, this is gonna take us a little bit to get through. And we've built our 3 medical components that we need for the survival kit, and we still got a bunch of silver there. So yeah, we got silver for days now. So we'll go ahead and pull those out and get them stuck in here. And I am going to go ahead and build all these up because, again, we're building the ships. We might bump into something and we don't want to break things. 5 computers, 1 display, 2 construction components. And that'll be our survival kit. I know we need 40 power cells for those 2 batteries. We'll need at least 10 of those. We'll probably need at least 100 construction components. And there is a wolf. Cool. We're going to need large steel tubes. It will be put to good use. Alright, that's enough to weld up our survival kit. Lag. It's not powered yet, that's why it's offline. Next we will do... You know what, we want to do at least one of the O2H2 generators. So we need 8 construction components and 3 computers. And grab some of this ice. There's more ice. Thought there was more ice. I guess it's all in the actual generator. We don't want to pull that out. Now, it doesn't look like you should be able to do this, but you actually can. You can access the inventory through the survival kit screen. Oh, maybe you can't. You can access the survival kit's inventory. You can't access the other stuff. Alright, that's what it is. But we can access it through this cargo port. What? I'm sure we can do that. Oh, there's no power, so the conveyors don't work. That's the problem. I know how to play this game. We need 1 more construction component, No, we need 4 more construction components, 2 computers, and a bunch of those power cells. We just got a bunch of extra stuff here. You know what, I need to put this ice back for now. There we go. Now the survival kit is online. The conveyors will behave themselves and do what they're told. So I'll pull this ice back out. You know what? I'm going to see if I was right about that or if it's just the fact that the power wasn't on. Yeah, we can access the inventory through the cargo container or through the console. Next thing we want to do is get the hydrogen tank going, so that way the ice will actually start processing. 40 more steel plates, 36 large steel tubes, 60 small steel tubes, and other stuff. And I'm just kind of run around here and pop in what I can. Can I get at that junction? I appear to not be able to reach the junction. Alright, so we'll grind off one of these thrusters on each junction so that we can actually get at it and weld it up. And we can put those back once they're welded. Construction components and motors. I need steel plates. Alright, now put these back. Oh, need steel plates. We'll use them. Run low on hydrogen. Alright, now this will start filling up. And this is hydrogen, so this will actually function in any environment, whether it's in space or here on the surface. Atmospheric thrusters obviously will only work in atmosphere. Ion thrusters will only work in a vacuum, but hydrogen thrusters will work anywhere and everywhere. We are going to need some more of these, I know. Interior plates, construction components, computers, displays. Wow, we need a bunch of stuff. Need more steel plates at that. Told you we'd use them. More large steel tubes too. There are more efficient ways to build this. I am probably overdoing it on the thrusters. Oh, this is done. times like these, I'm almost tempted to install the build and repair kit mod. That might be too many metal grids. But again, they can be deconstructed. One motor, 14 computers, 5 displays, 30 bulletproof glass. This will enable us to finish the cockpit. Here's the drill. I think I forgot the displays entirely. Six interior plates. more motors and computers as well. We are coming up on that hour. It's the battery that's already done. I think that's done. There's something somewhere that just needs the metal grids. I know there's some engines somewhere in that state. I think they're these ones. Yeah. Nope, out of metal grids. There's our connector. Ore detector's done. Antenna's done. That just needs a power cell. That just needs a power cell. Oh, we need 10 more interior plates. I forgot about the finishing bits. I mean, that's functional, that'll work, but I'm trying to build all these up completely. And we actually want to get in here and turn off all of our hydrogen thrusters. Because these will consume a little bit of hydrogen while they're just sitting here idle. And we don't really want to do that. So we need 2 power cells for the hydrogen engines. And then we need the rest of these bits back here for the hydrogen thrusters. And that's actually about it. So it's construction components, metal grids and construction components. What else needs to go in this one? Yeah, that's just metal grids and construction components that we need now. So we can offload the other stuff that's in our inventory. That we built entirely too much of. Refill our hydrogen bottle. Metal grids, construction components, those interior plates. I want those so I can have that one done. That's done. These are all done, I'm pretty sure. Still need more construction components. More metal grids too. There's our large thruster. Need more construction components. What are we doing on metal grids though? Looks like we are done with metal grids.
Meteor storm inbound.
We need those 2 power cells. Fine. Before I actually finish these, I'm going to turn them off, because I don't want these running and sucking up all of our hydrogen. We've got enough battery power to get us started at least. Because what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put this up on the connector to charge the batteries, and then either use the base or this thing itself to go drilling for ice, or fly it over to the rover and drill for and pick up some ice there, or some hydrogen there, or both. So this episode's been a lot of running back and forth and welding. We are just over an hour now. I'm almost done with it though, so I'm not going to stop now. I might as well just go ahead and finish welding it up. I hope nobody minds. There was one thing that was waiting on construction components. It was that. That's the one I just did, was waiting on construction components. More construction components. They get used. Done with the metal grids though. And yeah, we've used all the construction components we had. Hopefully that'll be enough. Probably won't be. Oh wow, we need some more steel plates in that one. And it was not enough construction components. They take 15 a piece. That's more than I thought they did. Just go ahead and queue up 100. Screw it. Refill this while we wait. Now one of these was, there it is. Missing steel plates, it was that one. Still more construction components. Alright, that's everything completed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to disconnect this probe and fly it over to the rover. Engines, gyro, camera, camera. Why can I not see the camera? Oh, it's off. Let's turn both of them on. Now, if I turn the connector off, there we go. And where is the rover? Over this direction. Whoa. Uh-oh. Antenna. Antenna off and on. No. Batteries off and on. There we go. Did not crash. I think I might have figured out what's going on with that whole issue with the remotes. I think you just, if you power cycle stuff, it works. You just turn it off and back on again, you know, standard solution to every technical problem. Have you tried turning it on and back off again? So now we're using the antenna on the new mining ship to connect to the probe. And we are just using the probe and flying over here and connecting to our brand new connector. Turn it back on. Get ourselves lined up. And we're doing this, of course, because we need to free up the connector port. And lock it. Engines off, gyros off, battery to recharge. Alright, good to go. Now that that port is free, we do have some hydrogen in the tank, not a lot, but some. We do have some power in the batteries, not a lot, but some. Got our connector turned on. So what I'm gonna do now, actually I need to get out real quick. No, not yet. I don't need to get out just yet. What I need to do first is I need to turn the hydrogen thrusters back on. And this is going to start burning very slow. Does it? I thought it was burning through the hydrogen. Apparently it does not. Okay, cool. I'm not complaining. So now that that is... Oh wow, I missed one here. Need the metal grids. That one was important too. I mean, there are some other hydrogen thrusters on the back there, but that one's kind of balancing it out. And I mean oh, I forgot to put gyros on this thing. Talking about balancing it out. There's no balancing this out. There's no gyros. That would have been a problem. Always remember gyros, because I always forget gyros. Make sure you always remember them. We'll just put one here for now. So we need large steel tubes, motors, and computers. Motors, computers, large steel tubes. One more computer. Anyway, as I was saying, now we can grind these bits off and we are floating free. We are roasting stuff because we're shooting a hydrogen thruster straight at it. One that is helping keep this thing afloat at that. So let's move this relatively quickly. And then I want to put the connector on the bar here because that's important. And we do have the ability to turn, not especially quickly, but it works. We do have the ability to fly. So we can do all the important things. Yeah, these controls are a little sluggish. I was just trying to roll there and it took me a minute. Whoa! And we're out of hydrogen. Please don't blow up. That's not good. Yeah, we blew through all of our hydrogen already. I thought we might have enough to get up onto the connector, but I was wrong. And we roasted a lot of parts doing that. That is not good. How are we for ice here? We don't have a lot of ice either. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and call it there, since we've destroyed our ship. I'm gonna go ahead and get this fixed up. It's just gonna take, building more parts and sticking more ice in it, and then I will put it up on the connector. We will take it to space in the next episode. So we got it built and got it destroyed, and we'll get it fixed up between episodes and actually take it up in the next episode and at least get up there, find a nice supply, and probably then just come straight back, honestly, because we still got some work to do over on the rover. Um, as far as building that mining outpost for silver and doing scripting block and some other improvements that we want to make to the rover. But thanks for watching. Subscribe to see this fixed up and in action. Likes, comments, verbal abuse, whatever you feel like leaving for me, I appreciate. Thanks very much. Sorry about the length of the episode, but I consider it a special occasion since this is episode number 20. I want to thank everybody who's been watching. I want to thank the relatively few people so far who have subscribed. I'm not trolling for it there. That was earlier. But thank you very much. I do appreciate you who've subscribed. People who are watching